Kathy, and this is my first Trim Your Stash video that I'm going to start every Wednesday, hopefully, fingers crossed, for a while. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to do. So I'm just kind of showing you guys here what I have brought out, and my main goal with this one was to use up a bunch of brads. I have bought these, those fabric kind of ones that you see there are, I believe, from Basic Gray, and they're from two different like collections, and I just happened to have purchased them at either like a local scrapbook store or like a Winners or something like that. And I have never used them, and I've had them for quite a while. So I gathered up all the ones I had, plus any that kind of spoke to me or maybe had like a color scheme that I liked. And I decided I was going to just do a big cluster of brads, which of course doesn't have to have like a meaning, or there doesn't have to be a reason why you're doing a cluster of brads. It doesn't have to be a photo about brads or anything like that. But I just thought this would kind of be a neat little way to kind of use up. I've seen it before in different scrapbook layouts, so like this is nothing new, this clustering thing. But I'm also using up an old Maggie Holmes paper that I'm going to use as the background. And you saw that kind of glitter border that I brought over. I am going to use that in the end. And it's actually came from a page kit. And I swear it was probably from like Me and My Big Ideas or one of those types. And it was just something I had bought at Michael's, and it was for babies, like baby girls. And I really only bought it, I bought it for the papers that came with it. There were some cute kind of papers. And that was one of the items that came with it. And I never threw it out, I just kept it. So I'm going to use it too because I think it's kind of cute and I want to use it up. So let's get kind of going with that. I'm using some doilies. The doilies I actually bought from Pretty Little Studio. I know people get them on Amazon. It's just, for me, the shipping and everything was really pricey to ship to Canada. So I ended up buying them from there, but the last time I made, not the last time I made a Pretty Little Studio order, but the time before that, I bought some doilies. I love the big ones. I am going to have to buy more. I am running out. I thought, I didn't buy much. I bought like maybe 20, so obviously I'm running out. The picture is of my daughter. We went to this farm right after school was kind of done for the year. And it's really cute because there's goats and rabbits and alpacas and all kinds of different animals. And they, if you were like over 15 or over 14, there were these little baby goats that you got to hold if you wanted. And they were literally like 2 weeks old, and they were so adorable. My husband and I like fell in love with holding them. But you could also hold bunnies. There were really, really newborn ones that you could hold, but you had to also be like a teenager or older. But then there were slightly older ones, and that's what my daughter has. She was actually afraid to hold the bunny originally, and she still was. There was someone holding the bunny for her, and then she wanted to cuddle in with the bunny. So I, of course, snapped a picture. And I did back my photo you saw there. I backed it with the other side to this Maggie Holmes carousel paper that I made those little banners out of. It's just a blue polka dot. And then the other paper I used was from a 6x6 paper pad for Snow and Cocoa. And the reason I picked that paper, which is kind of weird, but it's hard to see in the picture, the t-shirt she's wearing has these frills on the bottom, and they have like an Aztec print that was very similar to the Snow and Cocoa paper. So that's why I picked them. So as opposed to putting a bunch of holes in my paper and putting a bunch of brads in, I'm going to snip off all the little prongs. And I start with using these Fiskars that, you know, were supposed to be my good craft scissors, but that everybody took. And yeah, they didn't end up being my good craft scissors anymore. But I started with those, but then I found my little snippers, like ones that probably most people would have like wire snippers, and those work so much better. So I snipped off all the prongs. Now with the smaller brads, I find it easier to, because the smaller ones that I was using, they have like an indent on the inside, so they're not completely flat. And I found it easier to use foam dots, which you can see me doing right there. And yes, it did prop them up, but not by much because they were indented. And the other ones I just glued down. And I brought in some buttons. Some are from Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams. I think 2 of them were from the Amy Tangerine Heart and Hustle. She had these fabric, kind of like felted button looking ones. Now, originally I was like, okay, I'm going to go. I ended up clustering them so tightly together that I ended up using more brads than I originally intended to. And I brought out some of these Teresa Collins ones that I had kicking around. And then I had these old strips from Basic Gray, and they were like border strips, but they had orange buttons on one of them, and I decided I wanted to use one of the orange buttons. I'm not sure if I used the other one, but I know I used one for sure because I wanted to bring in some more orange, because there's orange in some of the brads, but then I kind of got carried away with like pinks and everything, so I wanted to bring back in some more colors. And I wanted to bring in some black and white too, so that's where the Teresa Collins ones came in. Now, if you didn't have as many brads, you don't even have to cluster it quite as tightly as I did. I just got really weird about it. Like, I don't know what made me think I even needed to cluster them this much. I would have been fine. But yeah, the brads that I'm using, the fabric ones, they were so cool. I loved them when I bought them, and then it wasn't part of my style at the time. So I was like looking at them and going, I'm never going to use these. Like, they are not a color I would use. Sorry for the sniffing, guys. I got allergies going like crazy. They're just, I'm not going to use them. And now I'm finally kind of a little bit more freeing with how I design stuff. And it's nice. It's nice to have that. I don't mean like because I'm not on design teams. I more so mean that I'm just getting kind of looser. My scrapbooking style is a little bit more loosey-goosey. Like, I'm not as worried about stuff being perfectly matched or perfectly in theme or anything like that. And it did take a while to get there. And I find with destashing that you totally have to just kind of let go of worrying about everything being in a theme, because I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm destashing, I find like 1 or 2 of stuff everywhere, and it's not like a whole collection or anything. It's just random pieces that I bought or stuff like that. So that's kind of what my focus is going to be. Using up some sheets. Like, this is from Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams, which is relatively new. I'm not going to be completely focusing on much older supplies. I already did a series where I went back, and it was called Flashback Fridays, where I kind of went back into older collections that I had kicking around. This one is just more about using up stuff. So whether it's a cut apart sheet, and I only use one cut apart, it doesn't really matter. I gotta stop saying I do, with this layout, decide that because I have so many brads going on, I don't need to go crazy with the embellishing. And I do keep putting that glitter border around, because at this point in the layout, I was not sure if I was going to use it. So I'm putting it around to kind of see if I still like how it looks, if stuff's touching too far to the sides and then it won't fit, that kind of thing. I have no clue what I'm going to put for the title at this point, and I do really struggle with the title. And it's mostly because I wanted to write like Bunny Love or something like that, and I couldn't make it work in a way that it fit without getting in the way of a bunch of stuff. So I remembered someone on one of the Facebook pages, one of the scrapbooking Facebook pages, had done a layout that was called Meet Cute, which is the cute, meet cute is the term for when the two main characters in like a romance or something meet. It's just like the kooky, crazy way that they meet. And I just thought that would be a perfect title for this. So I end up taking the cute girl puffy stickers, and there's a little banner there that says cute, and then I find something else to write meet. That bunny is from the Little You collection, the feminine type one, because there was a masculine set and a feminine set, and I have both of them. So I'm using there was no little bunny on the masculine set. It's like a bear and stuff. But, and the little frame, that little teal frame was open book, I believe. Maggie Holmes chipboard. And I primarily used it because I wanted to bring something other than more pink or more peach into the layout. So I thought that would be a really good way to do it. And I just kind of put it up there, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. But it also kind of made a grouping of 3. So now I have my 2 doilies and then the frame. So it was kind of in that vein, like that was my thinking behind it. But then when I put the little bunny on top, I loved the little bunny on top. I just thought it looked so cute. Now, all the brads have silver around them, so it's getting a little trickier to bring in other products because there's so much gold now. But I do bring in some Chasing Dreams puffy stickers because there's a little rabbit like medallion metal type thing, banner, whatever it is. And there's one there that says first. I am going to cover that with a brad that I just find kicking around that I didn't realize I hadn't put on. That actually would have looked cute, but it was covering too much of the bunny in the rabbit book. That's a chipboard bow with the black and white, and I like that that's bringing in more black and white. And my third puffy sticker is the bow that I put on the little bunny up at the top. I think it looks so cute there. It works so well. Anyway, so I was going to go with those, but they're just too big and they're just too in the way. So that's when I grabbed these and decide to kind of go with this little kind of banner. And I just want it kind of haphazardly going around. I don't need it perfect. I'm going to pop some of it up on foam dots, but I don't think I do that on screen. And it would have worked like anywhere, as you can see. It was it was actually working quite a few places. I tried to do the title in 2 separate places, and I just did not like it. So I put these little, it was Pink Paisley Solstice, so that was from a while ago, collection, and they are just glittery teal. That's pretty much it for the layout. The only other thing I'm going to do is put Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Mint on, and I get it on the edges, so I have to wait for it to dry before I can put the other thing on. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys stick around for the rest of the series. And pictures coming up. Bye.